My dream was to help 100 women for $1,000. I had no idea where I was going to get the $100,000, but it ended up being 12 years, 2,200 women, and $1,500,000. So that's the power of a dream and taking the first step.
Start with a dream and start by just imagining one step. You don't have to figure out what the end is going to look like. You just need to start by going, okay, how can I put one foot in front of the other?
If you take the first step, the second step will always show itself.
So it's like you get thrust into these environments where you're like, what am I supposed to do? This is an impossible task that I've been, granted. It's been put on my shoulders, and it's just, you just take the next right step.
For a woman to know that just one other person absolutely believes that she deserves her dream and has the power to create it is life-changing.
We have so much more power than we think we do.
Self-care is an attitude. It is a philosophy where you are important enough to come first so you can take care of what needs to be done later.
Because anything is possible when you know the steps.
Helping somebody else is the most empowering thing in the world.
You are the one that you've been waiting for. No need to knock open the door. Take the leap and be the dream. Be the Dream is your guide to authentically sharing your voice and stepping into the life you've always wanted. Whether through music, speaking, or creative expression, we're here to help you own your unique sound and make an impact. I'm Carolee Garrison, and this is your time. As a lighthouse for aspiring vocalists, I'm here to illuminate the path to fearless self-expression, helping you tap into your most vivacious voice. Through powerful interviews and expert insights, you're going to gain the confidence to be heard, be seen, and finally be the dream. Hello, and welcome back to the Be the Dream podcast. I'm so excited for today's episode. It is impactful, it is powerful, it might just make you cry, and it will probably change your whole life because the topic of today is living your dreams, figuring out the first step of the rest of your life. Like, how do you actually reach your dreams? Today's guest is the beyond incredible Johanna Crawford. For the last 50 years, author Johanna Crawford has dedicated herself to community service in a wide variety of areas and organizations such as the Boston Science Museum, Glover Hospital, Babson College Foreign Students Committee, and Transition House, amongst others. In 2004, harnessing her vast experience, Ms. Crawford founded the Web of Benefit, Inc. at age 58. There, she personally worked with over 2,200 survivors of domestic violence in Boston and Chicago, plus 26 states, helping them define and realize their goals and dreams. Johanna Crawford has been a guest speaker at Babson College, Simmons College, Harvard University, and University of Massachusetts. At the Japanese Women's Leadership Initiative in Tokyo, Ms. Crawford taught Japanese women about grassroots social entrepreneurship, risk-taking, and creating a nonprofit organization. In December 2010, she was awarded the Be the Change Award by the Massachusetts Conference for Women. In June 2011, she and Web of Benefit won the award for excellence in collaboration given by the statewide Massachusetts Nonprofit Network. She is an AARP Purpose Prize Fellow, and in July 2012, she was honored as a CNN hero. This conversation is so incredible and inspiring and literally will feed your soul. We talk about how Joanna inspires women to go from literally nothing to changing their lives, and how we, because we're inspired by the work she's done, how we can help people do that too. It is just astounding to see what we have the power to do as women, as change makers, and as dreamers. And it just takes one step at a time. I'm so excited to share this episode with you. So let's listen in. Johanna, I'm just so excited that we finally have the opportunity to talk and to
get to hear your story because it is so inspiring, everything that you do and all the things that you do to help women step into their dream and finally live the life that they've always dreamed of living. So I think I'd love to start by asking you about how you got into that work. What inspired you and led you into everything that you do today?
Well, I'm kind of a late bloomer. I didn't really know what my work was going to be till I was about 57. I did a lot of other things, started, bought, and sold companies, and I was kind of a for-profit girl. But at 57, I had the time and the opportunity to do some work with survivors of domestic violence. And I actually don't call it domestic violence anymore. I call it intimate terrorism. I did not coin that phrase. I don't know who did, but it's much more apropos because we live in terror of those that we are most intimate with. Not that we're being abused all the time, but we're terrified of being abused. So my childhood was very angry, very alcoholic, and very abusive. And at age 13, my father attempted to murder my mom. And my older brother and I were there in the house, and we managed to get him off of her and out of the house. And that was in the late 50s. So I'm kind of dating myself, but that's okay.
There was so much less support available then.
Oh my God.
Wasn't talked about. This wasn't a thing. This was shoved under the rug. And so, like, the strength it took for you, I mean, just emotionally, but certainly, physically as a 13-year-old is just phenomenal.
Well, I remember the police would come to our house and they would tell my mother to fix her marriage. And by the way, that still happens now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. One fact that I think is kind of glossed over that I didn't realize until I started working at a crisis shelter, marital rape was legal until 1975. So you can imagine what 1959 was like.
Yeah.
So we never spoke about it. My brother, my mother, and I never spoke about it. There was no help. If you went to a psychiatrist, you were really Looney Tunes. There were no counselors, there was no help at all. So finally, at age 57, I decided I'd like to do something about intimate terrorism in whatever small way I could. So I started volunteering at a crisis shelter in Boston, actually the oldest crisis shelter on the East Coast, which was founded by two survivors in 1975. So anyway, I became a crisis counselor on a volunteer basis 2 days a week. And I would take phone calls from women looking for shelter. And this specific day, we had a room with a bed for a mom and two kids. And I got a phone call from a woman who had fled from Chicago, and she had gone to the clearinghouse for beds available in Boston and found that we were available, so she called. So anyway, I picked her up and her two kids on a corner in Cambridge with a trash bag, black trash bag with all their belongings. And they had fled from Chicago. And she had nothing. So I took them back to the shelter and I got them comfortable in their room. And she came up to the crisis office and asked if I could help. And I said, what's the problem? And she said they had fled so quickly from Chicago. She didn't have any identification for herself or her kids. So she didn't really exist legally, so she could get no help. She could get no kind of aid at all. So she said she needed $40 to send, ask for duplicate paperwork in Chicago. And of course, it's totally forbidden for volunteers to give money to residents. But I have to say, I've never been very good with rules, so that didn't bother me in this place. So as I was leaving at 4:00, and I never have money in my wallet because when I do, it goes away and I have no idea where it went. But this day, and I know it was the universe, I had three $20 bills in my wallet. So I'm like, okay, this is a sign. So I went downstairs and got her into a dark corner and gave her the two $20 bills. And I said, this is for Chicago. And then I said, here's another 20. She needed she needed stamps and envelopes and, all kinds of things. And I said, use this and then take your kids to McDonald's for a treat. So she burst into tears. I burst into tears. And I'm driving home that afternoon in a very nice car to a very nice house, knowing that I had to do this in a bigger way. And when you know things with a capital K, there's really no option. But I didn't know anything about raising money. I didn't know anything about nonprofits. I knew nothing. And it's really a good thing that I knew nothing, because if I had known what I was getting myself into, I never would have started. So
it's like the phrase of our lives. If we really knew.
And it's like you take the first step and then you kind of pull along.
Domino effect.
Yeah. And I'm a believer, and I talked about this with women, I still do. If you take the first step, the second step will always show itself.
Yeah.
And then the millionth step will show itself. But the first step is what you need to do.
And this is true of motherhood. It's true of business. It's true of every endeavor that you know. I love how you said that, with a capital K, that you are supposed to do. I think, and I have 3 kids with special needs. And so it's like you get thrust into these environments where you're like, what am I supposed to do? This is an impossible task that I've been, granted. It's been put on my shoulders. And it's just, you just take the next right step.
Right. So my big dream, and I saw that this need was not being met, to help women financially for the first step in the rest of their lives. So my dream was to help 100 women for $1,000. I had no idea where I was going to get the $100,000, but it ended up being 12 years, 2,200 women, and $1.5 million. So that's the power of a dream and taking the first step.
Mic drop. I mean, that's it. That's the thing that every single person who hears this needs to take away, is that start with a dream and start by just imagining one step. You don't have to figure out what the end is going to look like. You just need to start by going, okay, how can I put one foot in front of the other? That's
Absolutely
all I need to know right now.
That's what I spent 12 years teaching survivors. And we had to work with their dreams. Actually, we were working with their life plans, but I couldn't call it a life plan, because if somebody said to me, Jo, we're going to do your life plan, I'd go, oh, no, you're not. How are we going to do that?
That's overwhelming.
Yeah.
When you try to imagine your entire life, like your brain kind of shuts down because it's too big.
It's so scary. Yeah. So I knew I couldn't call what I was going to talk to them about as a life plan, and it took a while to figure out. I called it the dream proposal. And everybody was really happy about the dream proposal. And if you want to spend 5 minutes doing a dream proposal, I can do it. It's also written in my book. But we would do the dream proposal, and I would say to them, you need to dream out loud, because you never know who's listening. Obviously, you're not going to dream out loud to somebody that you know will not support you. But if you're in a supportive environment, you have to dream really big and really out loud, and make yourself big in your dream.
Yes. Well, and I think there's a point to that. Like, it's not just having other people hear your dream, but to say it out loud to yourself has
and the
power.
universe. And the universe.
And God and the universe and everyone, but like speaking it into existence is incredibly important and powerful. Like, there is magic in those words.
Right.
I would love for you to take us through this dream. Tell me again, dream power, dream plan, dream.
Okay. Well, if everybody that's listening will just get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, it's going to take 5 minutes. I spent much longer with the survivors that I was giving grants to, because we had to figure out the first baby step and the price of that baby step. But we don't need to do that here because I can't give any money anymore. But so at the top of the page, write dream proposal. You're going to put this on your refrigerator so you can look at it every single day. Okay, so there are 3 headings. First is, what is your biggest dream? The second is, what are the steps and goals? And the third and last is, what is the first step you will take tomorrow? So let's go back up to the top. The what is your biggest dream has 5 parts. You can add as many parts to it as you want. I had to keep it within a time frame. So the first dream is, what is your dream career? For example, I worked with a woman. We did a lot of grants with non-English speaking women who were, immigrants. We did a grant with a woman from can't remember. But anyway, she was only a 5th grade education. She wanted to be a doctor. So I said, great, you want to be a doctor. We put dream doctor. And then down at steps and goals, we'll figure out how you get that done.
And I want to say here that I just love that you're not even saying like, okay, well, where are you at and what's realistic for this? No, it's just like,
no.
And we're going to find steps to make it happen,
right.
No matter where you start from, because anything is possible when you know the steps.
Right. And it's impossible to dream too big.
Yes.
If you dream little, you will get little. If you dream big, you stand a chance of getting big.
I love it.
Okay. So biggest dream career, then dream house. A lot of these women were working 2 jobs and didn't even have apartments yet, but we did not talk about an apartment. No. We talked about a house. Where is it? Are you in the country? Are you in the city? Are you in a suburb? Are you in a desert? Are you in a forest? We designed the house. How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? Do you have a dog? What does it look like? And if you want to cut out pictures and make a dream board, that's even more fun. So anyway, we designed the house. Then what is the dream car? I'm a crazy car person. I love cars. And some of these wonderful ladies would say, well, I need a minivan. I'm like, no. You cannot dream a minivan. You can dream a Lamborghini or a Maserati or a Porsche or an Audi or whatever you want, but no minivans. So anyway, we wrote down cars. And then the 4th piece is dream travel. Where do you want to go? The first trip is without your kids. Oh, I can't take a trip. Yes, you can. You can take a trip without your kids. The second trip, you can go to Disney World, but the first trip is just for you. And then I must admit, it took me several years to come up with number 5, and I felt kind of ridiculous for not having thought of it before. But the 5th piece is self-care, because without self-care, you are nothing. And a lot of these women didn't have 5 minutes a day. So, and I have quite a large piece in the book about self-care. And I'm not talking about going to a spa day or, Canyon Ranch or even a pedicure. I'm talking about taking a walk, having a bubble bath, cooking a meal just for yourself, reading a book. Just self-care is an attitude. It is a philosophy where you are important enough to come first so you can take care of what needs to be done later.
Yes.
So we talked about self-care a lot. So that's the 5 pieces of the biggest dream. So let's go to steps and goals, and let's talk about the woman who wanted to be a doctor. So she didn't speak English, and she didn't have a high school diploma. So she needed English classes before anything. And there are free English classes. At the back of my book, you can find a huge section of resources. There's free education, free legal, free.
Tell us the name of your book so we can go find it.
The book is called It Takes a Woman to Empower Women. And you will find it anywhere you buy books, Barnes and Noble. It's, I think it's on Audible, and it's on any kind of ebook you can get. I think it's selling now for $1.99, so that's really the best way to get it. But you can also order it Apple Books or anywhere. So anyway, we had to get her some English classes. We knew that her advocate could find her English classes, but she didn't have transportation to get there. So she needed a T-Pass to get there. And she needed a laptop to be able to do her classes for English. So we could give her T-Passes for 6 months. And I bought so many laptops at Best Buy that I could get a good laptop for about $250. So we gave her the T-Passes and we gave her the laptop. She got so she was speaking English, and then her advocate got her a GED class. So she graduated from high school, and then we gave her the application money to apply to a 4-year college. And then after that, we knew that she could get to medical school if she did well in college. So that was taken care of with about $1,000.
Wow.
I would go in front of people asking for money, which was such a hateful job, but I had to raise the funds to be able to give it away. So we had a lot of private foundations and corporations that gave us money, as well as private individuals. And the question I got over and over again is, how can $500 or $1,000 change a life? Well, I changed a life for $40, so I knew I could do it with $1,000. But after the steps and goals, figuring out what was the cost of the first step was the hard piece. We had to talk about the T-Passes. We had to talk about the laptop. And then I said, there will be X number of dollars left over to help you apply to college. So it was a step by step, and we kept in touch, and she knew that she had that application money available. Our money never went in cash directly to the survivor. It always went to buy the T-Pass, or I delivered the computer, or I wrote the check to the college or to the landlord. So, but we had to figure out the first step.
I love this. And what I love so much about this dream proposal and this helping people with the first step is that this is it's a dream that keeps on giving. She becomes a doctor and she helps so many other people, and she becomes, this financially free woman who can support her family and then support other people and then heal the world. And it just goes on and on and on. Like, our dreams are not typically, selfish things that only help ourselves. Like, they expand us and help us to improve the world. And it just grows. It's so beautiful.
Well, one thing I did find, and I'm sure you find this in your own podcast, is that for a woman to know that just one other person absolutely believes that she deserves her dream and has the power to create it is life-changing. Just one person. So I say to women, get yourself a belief buddy, somebody that you believe in and somebody that believes in you, and you be the buddy system to support the two of you on your dreams, knowing that you both. Oh, I need to say something quickly, and I'm sorry to interrupt myself even, but when I started working with survivors, I knew that I'd be working with self-esteem issues because they've been so radically abused. And then that led me to understand that it was really worthiness that I was dealing with, because if you don't feel you deserve anything, then you would have no self-esteem. But what I finally came to realize was all of our strength and our worthiness and our self-esteem comes from self-forgiveness. And I don't mean forgiving yourself for maybe you talked harshly to one of your children, or maybe you said something nasty to a friend, or you did something that you're not proud of. I'm talking a blanket overall forgiveness of yourself for your entire life, because we are only human, we are imperfect, and we are always doing the best that we can do. And that's all we can do. So we need to forgive ourselves of everything, past, present, and future, to really believe that we deserve the dream. And we won't have the dream unless we really believe that we deserve it. And everybody deserves it just because you walk on this planet.
So beautiful. So beautiful. I just love it. It's amazing. And you've changed countless lives with this plan and this structure and this such a small amount of money to be able to change lives. And we think so often that it's going to take so much to make our dreams come true, but it really doesn't.
It doesn't. One thing that we did, it was actually one of my daughter's ideas, because we were such a small organization, and it didn't turn out to be small because it was $1.5 million, but when we started, it was small. And it was just about the time when that wonderful movie called Pay It Forward had come out.
Mm-hmm.
So what we had was just a little agreement that each survivor signed, saying that they would pay it forward and do 3 good deeds for 3 other survivors as part of them getting the grant. Not only would they do the 3 good deeds, but they would report those deeds to us. So, and we kept great statistics. I'm a statistic kind of crazy person. And we knew that each survivor that we gave a grant to had 2.3 kids. So each survivor did 3 good works to 3 other people who had approximately 2.3 kids. And that got exponentially into 20 and 30,000 lives that we touched. And a lot of the survivors did way more than 3. I think doing good things for others comes back 10 times. And I think also once you start doing it, you realize how good you feel. It becomes a habit. So we had that pay it forward piece as well.
So beautiful. And it's really all cyclical. It really all comes back, and it's like lifting the entire world.
Right. And it was a very logical, even simplistic model. You help 1, she helps 3. And I'm not saying with money, I'm saying babysit for a job interview, drive somebody to the grocery store. We're not talking huge things, but it's women helping women. And there's a huge power to that.
My drop. Like, yes, hands down, that we have so much more power than we think we do. And what's just really evident in that model is these women who are coming to, these shelters feeling powerless. Suddenly you're going, okay, now it's your turn to help someone. And they're going, I can do that. That's something exactly I have the ability to do. Now I have to go look and dig deep in myself to figure out what I can do to lift somebody else when I'm feeling down. And getting outside of yourself like that changes your entire perspective. And it's life-changing to start to see how your service can lift somebody else's day and change their life.
Right. I do think that helping somebody else is the most empowering thing in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This has been so amazing. Remind us again the name of your book and tell us how we can find you and follow you.
Well, if you go on the website, ittakesawoman.net, That has all my information. It has all the information about the book. It has Instagram and all those other things right there on the website. And it also has excerpts from the book. It also has some blogs, and it also has some other podcasts as well. So I think the website is the best place to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. This has been so beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me and all the wonderful things that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Be the Dream podcast. In the show notes, you're going to find links to be a guest on the show, the free Jumpstart Journal, and a place to book your free 15-minute one-on-one coaching call where I will guide you on how to step more fully into your dream. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend. Let them know that you're thinking about them, and let's share inspiration with as many people as we can. We could all use a little more motivation. See you next time, and until then, remember to be the dream.